The time is 9:02.
This ON AM and FM forecast brought to you by Atlantic Family Eye Care, 2345 Mendon Road in Woonsocket, providing excellent eye care with state-of-the-art equipment and glasses made while you wait. Atlantic Family Eye Care, 765-5430. Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 86 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 69. Sunday, an extreme heat warning is being issued by the National Weather Service from 11 a.m. Sunday to 8 p.m. on Tuesday for extremely high temperatures and conditions which could lead to unhealthy situations. Sunday's weather, partly sunny and hot with a high of 94 on the thermometer, heat index values as high as 101 here in Woonsocket. Sunday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 75. Monday, mostly sunny and hot with a high near 96. Tuesday, sunny and hot again, with a high near 100 degrees in Woonsocket. Heat index is, of course, higher than that. Wednesday, it starts cooling off, mostly sunny with a high of 88. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 80. And on Friday, mostly cloudy skies, high of 79, chance of rain 40%. Currently outside our Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio here on Park Avenue in Woonsocket, the temperature is 70 degrees. We are local and live at 99.5.
Good morning and welcome to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. This morning we welcome Pat back to the studio. Pat's been out on assignment the last couple of weeks. Pat, welcome back.
It's good to be here.
Good. It's great to have you in the studio. I'd like to thank my son Matt for filling in last week. We had to slightly change the name of the show to the Cheap Seats with Matt and Kevin. See what we did there with the Pat and the Matt. You know, it's good to have you back, Pat, and everything good.
Everything's good.
All right.
Everything's good. It's sunny out.
Yes.
For the first time in quite some time on a Saturday.
13 Saturdays in a row. So it's that's amazing in its own right. Been an interesting week around here, Pat.
Yeah, a little bit. A little interesting.
A little interesting to say the least. It's a little bit of Rafael Devers news. So we're going to jump into the whole Rafi Devers thing. But you know, with the format of the show, we do like to go around Rhode Island, around New England. But we really want to hear your take on Devers and the Red Sox and who's at fault. You know, after our first break. So let's go around Rhode Island. Let's go around New England, get you caught up. We got some local standouts, track and field at the collegiate and the high school level. We do want you to hear about. Northern Rhode Island's presence was certainly felt in the men's hammer last Wednesday at the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championship at the University of Oregon's Hayward Field. Four athletes from this chunk of the state earned All-American honors by placing among the top 16 throwers. Woonsocket's Tariq Robinson O'Hagan, who's a junior at the University of Mississippi, led that group by landing first-team honors and taking third place with a throw of 251 feet and 11 inches. That throw not only broke his school record in that event by more than a meter or a foot. No, I mean, okay. But was also the 16th best throw in collegiate history and the fourth best among American-born collegiate throwers. Receiving the first team honor was Lincoln's Christian Toro, who's a sophomore at Duke. He aired out a throw of 226.2 that held off the ninth place finisher by 1 inch. Landing second team honors were Lincoln native and Auburn University senior Kyle Moyson, who took 14th place with a throw of 219.3, and Cumberland native and University of Wisconsin senior Cole Hooper, who placed 16th with a throw of 216.6, that also clinched the final All-American spot by an inch. Robinson O'Hagan, who is a three-time NCAA champion in shot put, also took third place in that event later in the day with a throw of 66.11 and a half. Couldn't get to 67. The All-American honor brought his total at Ole Miss to 2, and he's now 19th in the shot and 23rd in the hammer in the world rankings, which I don't know much about track and field, but that is like really impressive. When you
That's impressive for the Blackstone Valley, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all these
great names. You're going up against the world in track and field is so huge, especially in Europe. It's incredible. So congratulations to those individuals as well.
Recent Woonsocket High graduates Bella Payette and Adelaide Karen in junior Shamrock Town placed among the top 5 throwers in their event to earn all New England honors at last Wednesday's New England Hammer Championships at Conley Stadium. In the girls' 4-kilogram hammer, Payette, who will continue her throwing career at Belmont University, took 4th place out of 26 throwers with a 165-foot throw. And Karen, who will throw at the University of Virginia, placed 5th with a 163-foot throw. Town, meanwhile, finished 4th out of 34 throwers in the boys' 12-pound hammer with a throw of 209 feet 1 inch. Town also placed 3rd in the 16-pound hammer with a throw of 174.4. 2 up-and-coming sophomores also placed among the top dozen in their respective events for the Woonsocket Villanovans. Avery Karen took 10th place in the girls' hammer with a throw of 148.5, and Raymond Williams finished 12th in the boys' 12-pound event with a personal best throw of 176.2. Adelaide Karen also competed at last Saturday's 78th annual New England Championship meet at Willowbrook Park in New Britain, Connecticut. She placed 15th in the discus with a 110-foot throw. Those 5 athletes will be back in action this weekend, competing in the hammer at national meets across the country. Payette and Adelaide Karen will take part at the USA TF U20 Championships today at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. And while Payette will head to Franklin Field in Philadelphia after the meet to compete at the New Balance National Championships, the Karen sisters will be in Eugene for that weekend's Nike Outdoor Nationals. Town and Williams will also pulled double duty yesterday afternoon at the Adidas Track Nationals at Greensboro, North Carolina.
Wow. That's a lot of words there. In that,
It is a lot of words.
Cumberland High graduate Kylie DeFusco nearly became only the 2nd female track and field athlete from her school and the first since javelin thrower Kelly Fay, who I do remember, back in 1987, graduated a year ahead of me, to capture an outdoor regional title at last Saturday's 78th annual New England Championship meet at Connecticut's Willowbrook Park. The College of Charleston bound standout and 9-time state champion settled for runner-up honors in the girls' 800 meters in a time of 2 minutes and 11 seconds, .84. That was almost 2.5 seconds behind the winner, Brooke Strauss of Glastonbury, Connecticut. Nevertheless, she earned all New England for the 2nd time in her outstanding career, helped lead the way for the Clippers, who also saw another graduated athlete, Peyton Goulding, land regional honors by placing 4th in the girls' shot put with a throw of 38 feet 5 inches. She also finished 8th in the discus with a throw of 121.2. Cumberland saw 2 runners place among the top 15 in the girls' 2-mile run as graduate Rose Tuamisto finished 10th in a time of 11 minutes and 10 seconds, .45. And freshman Cecilia Ludwig took 15th place with a time of 11:15.72. That's just a little bit quicker than you, right, Pat? You can do a 2-mile in 11. Yeah, just a little bit. Junior Charlie McHugh tacked on a 17th place finish in the girls' mile and a personal best time of 5 minutes 10 seconds. And her classmate and friend of the show, Matt Fontaine, finished 18th in the 300-meter hurdles in 40.07 seconds. 3 days before the meet, the New England Hammer Championships were held at Providence Conley Stadium. In the boys' 12-pound hammer, Lincoln High junior Julian Peroyan, 12th place, 177.5, and graduate Julian Murad, 14th place, 174.4, were among the athletes who placed in the top 15 with distances over 170 feet. And in the girls' 4-kilogram hammer, sophomore Avery Aldridge led the way for the Lions by placing 17th with a throw of 130.4. And we bring this up not only because of the students that are competing in this. As you know, I live in Attleboro, and I know the boys and girls that are competing in this exact same event from Massachusetts. You got all the regionals going on. They can continue to go on. You hear about Oregon, North Carolina. These athletes, they don't get celebrated nearly as much as the football and the basketball and baseball throughout their seasons, and yet their seasons are still going on when all other state championships and regionals are basically done. You know? So congratulations to all those athletes. Absolutely fantastic.
Speaking of baseball, the New England Collegiate Baseball League season is underway. Rhode Island continues to have 2 entries into this elite league. The Ocean State Waves currently tied for 3rd place with a 6-5 record, just a game and a half out of first. And the Newport Gulls sit in 2nd place, 1 game out of first with an 8-6 record. The Waves team currently has 4 Bryant University players with them. Catcher Brandon Duran, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs in 10 games. Infielder Justin Hackett, infielder Zach Zions, and outfielder Gavin Greger. Hitting .316 in 10 games. And Cumberland native Jack LaRose, who plays at UConn, is currently hitting .241 on the season while playing in all 10 games. Teams play a 44-game schedule through July, then playoffs start. Ocean State Waves play at Old Mountain Field in South Kingstown, while the Gulls typically play to near capacity each night at Cardines Field in Newport. You can catch most games on ESPN+.
Yeah, pretty cool. I was actually scrolling through ESPN Plus last week, and the Gulls game was on, and the Waves game was on. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Be able to catch that action. And if you're looking for good college ball, we had Brendan McGear on last week. He was talking about the NIL stuff, but we quickly broached into the Collegiate Baseball League. And he agreed with me, whereas the Cape Cod League is typically, your juniors and seniors or rising juniors and seniors that were your starters at Vanderbilt and Tennessee. These guys playing in the New England League are in your freshmen and sophomores that might not have gotten the exact same amount of playing time as their older counterparts, but are going to dominate their respective college teams in the future. So it's a real good brand of ball. If you get a chance to go out and catch it, it's pretty cheap too. Also, speaking of college baseball, the College Baseball World Series begins today. A 2 out of 3 series features number 6 LSU versus number 13 Coastal Carolina out in Omaha. Game 1 tonight at 7. Game 2 tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, and if necessary, Game 3 will be Monday at 7:30. If you haven't tuned in, it's been incredible.
Great baseball. Coastal Carolina comes into this final with a 26-game winning streak.
No, I didn't know that.
It's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
It's like it's the most by far by like 11 games.
Yeah. From
the previous team that had gone into the finals.
And just the third no-hitter ever was thrown last week, and I think
Arkansas.
the first one since the mid-'60s, I think it was. So so just the third no-hitter. Great baseball, tremendous atmosphere there. That's on the old bucket list of wanting to get to Omaha.
Omaha is great, right? At some point we'll get there.
Yeah.
And since we last spoke, the Worcester Red Sox continue to play well. They are 4-2 in their last 6 games, including a 7-1 win last night at home versus Buffalo in a game that lasted 2 hours and 16 minutes in front of 8,600 fans. Recently demoted Christian Campbell was not in the lineup. Head on over to Polo Park as they wrap up their homestand today with Buffalo at 4:05 and then tomorrow at 1:05. Other than being home on July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the Woo Sox start Tuesday, June 24th. They do not return home until Friday, July 18th for a weekend series against Syracuse. We're at home schedule for the Woo Sox with just 8 home games between today and July 29th.
Yeah, when I was looking up their schedule, I'm like, check out a Woo Sox game, and this weekend, and then between today's June 21st and July 29th, that's 5 weeks where they're only home basically for 1 week. 8 games in that stretch. I'm like, wow, and that for minor league stadiums, it's you're banking on July. School's out, and now they are home a lot in August, but
it's a great take too. I mean, like my older brother was there last night. It was like Irish Heritage Night. They had fireworks. They had an Irish band playing. Yeah. So.
I think
and it's good baseball.
Catch on the field, I think, today. If you go up to the Woo Sox
and I think it's Italian Heritage Day or so. Yeah.
So, great take. If you haven't been to Polo Park, get there today, tomorrow for some afternoon games. My guess is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of July, they probably got some sort of fireworks going on as per the tradition. So you may have to call ahead for a seat there as those games sometimes sell out. Rhode Island FC got their first win at Centerville Bank Stadium last Saturday with a 2-1 victory in extra time, breaking a streak of 5 straight games of either losing a game or resulting in a draw. The club will look to build off this recent win, playing North Carolina FC as they look to build off this recent win over North Carolina as they welcome Sacramento to Pawtucket tonight at 7. Rhode Island's in 7th place in the Eastern Conference, which would qualify for a playoff spot. The club is 4 wins, 3 draws, and 6 losses. When we have more time, you got to explain to me why they switched the losses and draws in the standings. But
I think it's just to be different.
Just to be different.
Yeah. And then the New England Revolution loses last week to Cincinnati FC 1-0. Are off today. They have 2 home games next week at Gillette. Wednesday versus Nashville, and next Saturday versus Colorado. Both games have a 7:30 start time.
All right. So when we come back, we want to hear your take on the Rafael Devers trade. You've had almost a week plus an additional 15 minutes to digest. So many layers to this. We really want to hear from you. 401-766-1240. Join us in the cheap seats, and we'll be back right after this.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasker Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TaskerBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasker Buick GMC, you will be satisfied. And remember, there are no tariffs on the vehicles in stock at Tasker Buick GMC.
Providing experienced, compassionate care when you need it. That describes North Smithfield and Lincoln Urgent Care Centers. Their mission is to make you feel safe and reassured about the nature and severity of minor illnesses like lacerations, sprains, ear and sinus infections, stomach and back discomfort, and more. Both facilities have X-ray and lab facilities on premises. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, 768-3400. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 8 and Saturday 9 to 5. And Lincoln Urgent Care, across from Lincoln Mall, 333-9595. Open weekdays 9 to 9, Saturday and Sunday 9 to 5.
A world-class distributor of all things electrical is Electrical Wholesalers. They are a full-service electrical distributor with branches throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Locally, they're at 113 Clinton Street next to KFC here in Woonsocket, with other locations in Cranston and Franklin, Massachusetts. Electrical Wholesalers provides the highest quality service to electrical contractors as well as residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Electrical Wholesalers is open Monday through Friday, 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Visit ew-ne.com. Electrical Wholesalers.
Don't look now, but spring is right around the corner. Get out those golf clubs and head over to Lewis Quistit Golf Club, located right in the city of North Providence. Lewis Quistit offers a stunning 9-hole course designed by U.S. Open champion Ken Venturi. Whether you're looking for a fun, challenging round of golf or just a relaxing day surrounded by rolling hills, oak trees, natural wetlands, this is the perfect spot. With tee times available 7 days a week, fantastic court conditions, and a welcoming atmosphere both for members and the public, Lewis Quistit is a place to be. And after you're around, don't miss out on great food and drinks at the Pub on One, complete with a scenic golf course view. Contact Lewis Quistit Golf Club at www.lewisquisitgc.com or by calling 401-353-1620.
WOON Radio.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. I'm Kevin Callahan, along with Pat Holland here on 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, and OneSocketRadio.com. All right, Pat, let's get into it. If you want to get into it as well, join us in the Cheap Seats. Talk Red Sox, Rafael Devers, or anything else that's on your mind. Give us a call, 401-766-1240. Pat, let's just start off. Who did the Red Sox get for Devers? I'll let you know. It's a left-hander, Kyle Harrison, outfield prospect James Tibbs III, hard-throwing reliever Jordan Hicks, and young pitcher Jose Bello. And I put in my notes, if I ask you again in 15 minutes, I don't think I'll remember who they got in the deal. So right off the bat, your thoughts on the actual trade itself, Devers for those four guys.
Well, I think yeah. I don't know if they got enough back for him or not. I think the key takeaway is they got they were able to unload him and not have to pay him anything further.
Yeah, a year and a half into his 10-year salary.
I recall them being pretty high on this Jordan Hicks guy.
Okay.
And I think he got drafted right before they were to pick.
Okay.
So that's probably a reason why they wanted him in this deal. But the other guys, I don't know anything about. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. I think Kyle Harrison's down in Worcester. They're gonna work with him over the next couple of weeks.
He was pitching in San Francisco, I think.
Yeah.
Before the trade, and was he the pitcher that was scratched from the start? The day they made the trade,
I believe so.
He was supposed to start against the Dodgers.
And I know Hicks was in their starting rotation, and then they moved him. I believe he's been in and out. He's either been a starter or a reliever, but we'll see.
Yeah, so it's all right. So not a lot in return for a guy that was second, third, fourth in the league in RBIs, hitting about 270, hitting the home runs. recovered from his 0 for 21 start with 15, 16 strikeouts, whatever it was. But something did seem off. You're watching the games. He's not hustling down the first. He's getting the evil eye from Cora. That kind of slid under the radar a bit because the Sox ended up coming back to win that game. The timing was crazy timing on it.
Bizarre.
We're out on Father's Day, and it sounds like the Red Sox just traded Devers. And I'm like, he just hit a home run to beat the Yankees, or sweep the Yankees 2 hours ago. And sure enough, so it's a bad. But right off the bat, there's no winners in this trade. It's a bad look for the Red Sox. It's a real bad look for Devers. The more that keeps coming out on him, and I'd like to say. We were kind of in the forefront here, Pat. Back in March, we said that we felt that Devers was holding the team hostage by not sliding to third base or willing to take balls at third, just by sabotaging or holding on to the DH position, which didn't allow anybody else to get some extra at-bats. I think, if Moose is listening, I mean, I'm sure he has a thought on this, I think it's a bad look for Alex Cora. Is we've go through this, and managing a game is so much different now than it was back in the 70s or 80s. You only got 2 or 3 guys on the bench. There's no more pinch running. There's no more pinch hitting. There's, the backup catcher never comes into the game in case the starting catcher gets hurt. So what's the job of the manager is to manage the clubhouse, and and he wasn't doing that with Devers either. I mean, who comes out ahead in this thing?
Yeah, but I mean, you get 26 guys in the dugout. And it's only one that he's not managing? I mean, is that on him or is it on Devers?
Oh, and that's what I think. I agree. I think there's the old blame pie going around. I think there's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Devers gets the most blame because you got John Henry flies out there a month ago to Kansas City, and basically your boss flies out halfway across the country to tell you to play. Obviously he said no. Because he didn't play in the field, he didn't take any ball, and then was seen taking balls at shortstop in warm-ups.
Yeah.
One report said that. What's that about, taking balls at short? I mean, was he going to play over Trevor Story? I mean,
yeah, I think that was his own thing. I think he's just out there warming up, and I'm going to do whatever I feel like, and It's unfortunate. The bizarre thing is that, he comes out last night and says, or before the game, and says, well, had they asked me back in spring training if I would play first, I would have said yes. It's like, well, that wasn't on the table then. They didn't need you. They had
Right.
Cassis.
Yep.
Like, they don't, why would they have asked you to play first in spring training?
Right, yeah.
What they did ask you is to come in shape, and you didn't do that.
Didn't do that.
So, and I get it. He was rehabbing from a shoulder surgery or whatever, but
Well, in the interesting dynamic, you get the guys that come over on Thursday, and about a month or so ago, the younger generation, the second generation of Hockey Night people, took Devers' side, saying, well, the Red Sox didn't communicate with them. They didn't, in essence, stroke his ego good enough on this. It's you got to communicate. And I'm not saying that the Red Sox aren't blameless. I think it shouldn't be that hard to have that conversation. But put on the glove.
Hey.
It's not that he's been playing his whole life. To go to third, never mind, at the time, and then first.
But you have to listen. They stroked his ego enough to write him a huge check
For $315 million. 10
at
years.
some point, maybe the communication issue was we didn't communicate enough when we were talking about bringing Bregman in, about what that meant for you. But being an adult and a professional baseball player, you have to understand they're trading for a Gold Glove third baseman. What does that mean for me?
Right, exactly. Hey, Pat, let's go to the phone lines and see who we have. Welcome to the Chief Seats. Who's on the phone with us?
Good morning, Kevin.
Hey, Moose, what's going on?
Morning, Pat.
What's up, Moose?
Hey, much guys. Lots to talk about this week.
Yeah.
Start with the subject that you're on right now, and Devers, and swirling around so many different concepts and theories and analysts and what really happened in spring training. Did he accept? He was asked. But I don't know about you guys, I never heard him say once, or it was never printed once, that he refused to play first base. Here's what the original statement was from his interpreter. Said him, quote, "It was an inappropriate question." And that means a lot. And here's what you don't ask him. You just tell him, I'm sure he knew that the acquisition of Bregman is going to move him out of third base. They didn't get Bregman to play second base or DH.
Yep.
They got him for his bat and his sterling defensive play. So he had to have that in the back of his mind. Now,
Exactly.
if you're Cora, you just say, hey, Rafi, you're playing first base this year. Okay? That's it.
Yeah.
You don't ask. Hey, you want to play first base? No. Do your job. Make a statement. Say, this is what you're going to do. And this started the whole ball of wax where everybody said he refused. Did you ever hear him say publicly that he refused to play first base? No. I've never seen it. Did you?
I didn't see that he refused it, but I mean, you had the Nesson broadcasters calling him out. You had the in-studio guys also calling him out, saying, it should be only a matter of time before Devers puts a glove on. And basically, that would, assuming Abreu wasn't hurt, or what that does is open up a DH slot, so you're not putting Roman Anthony or Abreu or Duran or Rafaela at first base. So that's that's been our take from the beginning.
The thing is that with Devers, I don't think he refused guys. Like I said, I've never seen it. And him, maybe he was alienated because you always seen him sitting down on the bench alone while all the other players are up on a railing and rooting for the club. And here he is isolated on the bench. I mean, like, I'm an outcast, so I don't have nothing to do with you guys. Whatever. You can interpret as you wish. But I've never openly heard that he refused.
Well,
quote,
Moose, they did ask him at a one of the press conferences they had about playing first base, and he responded with, "I'm a third baseman." So, I mean, whether they asked him or not, his answer was, "I'm not a first baseman."
His interpreter said the question is inappropriate. You don't ask.
But here's the other thing, Moose. I mean, back in last September, Pat and I were talking about, who should the Red Sox go after next year? So in September, Pat and I are talking about it in Woonsocket about bringing Bregman in. Cora, his interpreter, his agent, the management, he's got to see, he's got to understand that his defense was one of the worst defensive third basemen in the world.
Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly there.
He said last year, bring in better players. Well, you know what? Bregman is a better player.
He's going to play third base. This interpreter, he's going to play third base. We didn't get Bregman, as I just stated.
Yeah.
We didn't get Bregman to be a DH or play in another position.
Right.
He's an all-star third baseman and always will be, and that's where he's going to play.
Exactly. But then to go out to San Fran and in your first press conference, they ask you, what position you're going to play, and you go, I'm going to play wherever they ask me to play. Wherever they want me to play, I'm going to play.
Yeah.
Contradicting, I don't know.
It's just
but what
disingenuous.
really irks me about it is they got nothing in return.
Oh, yeah, no, like I can't.
I still can't. Oh, my goodness, what did they get? 2 prospects?
I named the 4 guys, and like
I
said, and I'm like,
I looked them up right away. I said, who are these guys?
Exactly.
And a couple of minor leaguers, and one guy they obtained went straight to Worcester.
Yeah.
So the only one guy that went to the parent club. Was he even with them?
No, I think
he's on the IL.
He's injured.
He was on the IL with San Fran too.
Yeah.
So
well, anyway, you can make what you wish. It was a nice comeback for the Sox last night.
Yeah, they're playing good.
Yeah, they're playing good ball.
And that, Kevin, didn't I tell you months ago, Florida? Not months ago, Florida in 6.
Oh, on the Stanley Cup. Yeah, no, it's on my bracket. I got to double check it because I did a bracket about 2 months ago. I think I had Florida beating Edmonton. And if we had time, we were going to get into it. It's I do think Edmonton.
I sent you an email.
Edmonton's going to go after a goalie in the offseason.
But then I sent you an email and said, show me the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Florida in 6. But anyway, hey, guys,
right.
Look, again, thanks for your time. Are they playing this afternoon or tonight?
4:30.
4:30, and now Bayo's pitching today.
And then it's I think it's a 105. No, I could be wrong. It's in San Francisco.
Yeah, 105.
4:30 today.
4:30 our time. Yeah.
All right, Moose. Hey, have a great weekend. Stay
Thanks
cool.
so much, guys. I'll be listening.
All right, have a good
Bye-bye.
one. the Mighty Moose, joining us here in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin here on 1240 AM and 99.5 FM. When we come back, I want to talk about how the Red Sox identity has changed. We talked, 2 weeks ago that they had a Bruins-like identity, which was not a compliment by any stretch of the imagination. So we come back, and we want to hear your thoughts. You got any thoughts on Devers, the Red Sox, or anything else for that matter? Give us a call, 401-766-1240, and you can join us in the cheap seats on 99.5 FM and OneSocketRadio.com.
When you visit State Line Services website, you'll see a wealth of information about them and the 20 kinds of specialties they offer, including cooling system maintenance, emission testing, exhaust systems, and computerized engine analysis. Because today's vehicles are a complicated piece of equipment with a network of sensors that monitor your vehicle's performance. In other words, you need an expert. State Line Service and Tire Center, 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket, at the State Line. 765-0146. New customers are welcome.
When you install a garage door, don't forget the safety factor. Woonsocket Door Sales suggests you visit their website at woonsocketdoorsales.com and read about all the new technology available to make your garage and your home safe. In addition to your vehicles, your garage may store valuable tools and equipment. It may also have access to your home. Their website also features a variety of designs and comments about satisfied customers. Woonsocket Door Sales in Cumberland, 767-3448. They install, repair, and service all types of garage doors for commercial and residential.
Most automobile accidents, major or minor, are somewhat traumatic. They affect people's routine and employment, sometimes their health. That's why Micho's Auto Body is committed to addressing all phases of accidents, including repairs, reports, rentals, and stress. They offer the full package. Their promise is to give each person all that they are paying for and then some. Micho's Auto Body on Privilege Street in Woonsocket, 769-1983.
Are you looking to beautify your property this spring? Look to A.J. Moran for stonework patios, steps, walkways, plus retaining walls. Are you looking to beautify your home this spring? A.J. Moran can put veneer stone right on your house to have beautiful looking stone. And if that's not what you want, A.J. Moran can rebuild indoor fireplaces with veneer stone. It's real natural stone. Check out what they can do online, ajmoraninc.com. A.J. Moran.
ON, AM, and FM.
And welcome back to the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin. We were talking off air about the demotion of Christian Campbell. Overall, I think it's pretty good. He was hitting about 220 on base, about 320. But I think more importantly, the defense. I think they could live with the 220 and the 320 OBP. It was the defense, though. Hamilton won there yesterday.
And I said that last night because I saw that and I go, I think Campbell might have had that one.
Exactly. But and you were just saying, how many games has he played in
he played 19 games in Worcester last year, so that's it.
Yeah, and obviously,
so he's young.
Yeah, and with the contract he signed, 8 years, $6 million a year, something, whatever it was. Obviously, he's down there just to fine tune things. He's the highest paid Worcester Red Sox player right now. I think.
And they'll probably work him in at first.
Maybe get some work done there.
At least
second.
That's what it sounds like.
Right.
He said all the right things. I watched. The Woo Sox were on Nesson last night, so I watched a little of that, and they interviewed him, and he said all the right things. I'm here to, work things in, and, I got to figure things out, and it's a little bit easier to do it here than it is in Boston. And
Oh, and the interesting thing, like when you compare it to hockey, a lot of hockey players, if they get sent down to Providence, Boston to Providence, they're on that two-way contract. So they go down to Providence, get prorated $50,000.
Right.
Then they go back up to Boston, they get prorated at $2 million. My understanding is with his contract in Boston, he's getting paid the same whether he's in Worcester or here in Woonsocket.
Yeah, and it's like growing pains. He's a young. I think he's 22,
20, yeah,
if that. But he's, at the major league level, they can figure out.
Right.
Pitchers are, they're a step or two ahead of AAA.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those guys, he came out looking pretty good in April.
Yeah, player of the month.
And then as you start coming through these teams again, and they,
this film and all the analytics, which is what Craig
he'll
Breslow
figure it out.
Mr. Analytics with the Red Sox. I didn't realize they fired 50 internal employees in the last 2 years. The Red Sox did. There's an article by Jeff Passan I guess, came out as well. But we were talking right before we went to break, Red Sox identity. Before the Devers trade, we talked, not glowingly, that the Red Sox had no identity. They were scuffling around 2 or 3 games under 500. Talked to Devers as the face of the team. It's tough to give the face of the team to a pitcher because he goes out once every 5 days. So Crochet's not necessarily the face of the team. And they just had no identity. In one fell swoop, by getting rid of Devers, I feel like their whole identity changed. With the young kids, you got Anthony, you got Meyer, Navarro is the catcher. The pitching's been doing really well consistently in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler's been like the only major hiccup here or there. I feel like their identity has changed for the better. I feel like they have one. Hey, we're the young go kids right now, and I think they're going to be given like a lot of slack to like, okay, Anthony, okay, he's young. Meyer, oh, he's young. Campbell, he's still working out. Navarro, they're a young team right now. So
yeah, but those guys look to be making their approach at the plate seems to be good. I mean, Anthony was a little rough when he first came up. Now he's a little bit more selective. He's starting to, even the balls he's hitting are hard hit. So, and the pitching has really turned it on the last couple games. I mean, I think up in Seattle, they had only scored 5 runs and not, or
it's and I know the Red Sox kept the Yankees scuffling for a bit. They went 3 games without a run.
They lost again last night.
I mean, I didn't check the standings today. Are they 4 games out right now?
4 games out.
I mean, 2 weeks ago we were talking that they were close.
5.5 games they've cut off the Yankees' lead.
Yeah, they were closer to last in the Orioles than they were to first in the Yankees. Now it's a legitimate race.
The top 4.
They're 4.5 out now when you count last night's win.
A game behind Toronto.
Yeah, and Tampa, and only 2 behind Tampa.
Yeah.
So and now everybody's above 500 in the division. They're 3 over, and now all of a sudden things are just looking just a little bit brighter as you head into the just about halfway through the season now. So a good identity. It almost feels like they're playing with house money now. And so go back to Devers. Moose brought up a point. Actually, I wanted to bring up. It's you never saw him like. Unless he hit the home run, you never saw him like really celebrating with the team. Like, was he pouting all year? Was he?
To me, you listen to some of these guys, the in-studio guys, but it sounds like Breslow is out in San Fran, met with the team, and nobody really wanted an explanation. Like, they all seem to get it. So that speaks volumes.
Right.
There was a little bit of I don't know if you saw it, but Devers came up against Chapman last night. And it was mano to mano, and Chapman got him
on 102 mile an hour.
102 mile an hour,
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, 0 for 5. He had the one nice hit. Rafaela caught the ball up against the fence. I wouldn't say he robbed him of it, but it was a nice catch by Rafaela. But 0 for 5 for Devers. Well, that makes him 3 for 16 now with the Giants. And it's...
Yeah, so he's a great hitter. That's not going to change. Is there going to be a little bit of a change outside of Fenway? Like where he would take the ball to left more often than not off the wall?
Right.
And those are outs maybe in San Fran?
Yeah.
Or is he going to change his approach and become a pull hitter because you get the short porch?
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, he's a good hitter.
Right.
I don't think that's going to change. He can hit the ball to all areas of the field. So
with the Sox signing him to that 10-year deal, he's a year and a half into a 10-year trade. Looking back, Sox had lost Betts. Sox had lost Bogarts. You want to go back even further? You want to go to Lester and some of those guys. Did they panic by signing Devers? Was this more of a PR, like we can't lose everybody?
Potentially, I think there was that. At that point, things weren't really going well. I think when they signed him.
Yeah.
So I think they had to, step up and pay more than what they probably normally would have.
Right.
And he was young, and I don't know. It's things change quick, evidently.
And then you hear different things. The Red Sox asked him to do some more PR stuff, and he refused. He had said a while ago, I think when Betts got traded, and it was still him and Bogarts, I think he said, or his interpreter said for him, he doesn't want to be the face of the team. So he never wanted that role of leadership. And then, obviously Bogarts is gone, and I think Costas always wanted to be the leader of the team, but Mr. 160 and he's out for the year.
Sunshine.
That's not going to work for Costas being in that role either. So here he is signing the biggest contract, in Red Sox, with the Red Sox, and he doesn't want to be the face of the team. He doesn't want to be a leader. It looks like he's isolating himself on the bench. I think. So I think he is the one that of everybody that looks the worst in all of this, of the way he pouts. And then, like you said, the first thing he says when he gets to San Francisco is, I could play first wherever you want me to. It's just a bad look. And I think long term, I think if he had stayed for the remaining 8.5 years of his contract, it could have been ugly on those 8 years.
Here's a little tidbit that most people probably don't know, but it is interesting that they get rid of. Now, I don't put any stock in this, but it's interesting that they get rid of Devers in his huge contract.
Yep.
Right around the same time that Liverpool goes out and signs the most expensive player they've ever signed, actually in Premier League history, at 115 million euros.
Yeah.
To bring in a player. So, it's.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's you
Just
wonder
throwing it out
the
there.
crossover. People that don't know, John Henry also owns the Liverpool in the Premier League. He also owns the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think they got a racing team as well too. I'm not sure how they're doing. And but yeah, so no, I've heard some of those rumors of Robin Devers to pay was it Peter to pay Paul? Go pay Liverpool.
I don't put much stock in it.
I don't put much stock in that. Only it is
interesting.
Hurt, but I don't think that's why they did it, because I'm sure John Henry didn't fly out to Kansas City.
No. For that. At the end of the day, I think they keep separate books on each entity that they own, although they operate under an umbrella. But I just thought that was interesting, and most people probably don't even know that it happened.
Here's an interesting take. Someone just texted me. Forgot to add this name to the blame pie. We added John Henry and Alex Cora and Craig Breslow and Rafael Devers. How about Hein Bloom, who's the one that signed Devers, and who Devers is still what promises were made to me. He's like, well, yeah, by the old GM, not the new GM. Bloom's the one that lost, those guys, Betts and Bogarts, and
yeah, that's true.
But it's not a great look for the Red Sox. They keep losing their stars. They're acting like they're a big market team acting like a mid market.
I think this one is, it is tough, because the more you think about it, the more you think, well, who wants to come here,
right,
and play? Now, obviously, they signed Bregman.
And they traded for Crochet and signed him.
They traded for Crochet and signed him to an extension.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Like I said, that, if the players were coming out like upset in any way about this, I'd feel much differently. But they seem to be like.
I haven't heard anything. The only thing I've heard is like there's a little thing going on between Pedro Martinez and David Ortiz. Pedro was back in Rafi. Ortiz, who was back in Devers, is now back in the Red Sox. They've been going back and forth. They're in their 50s. Who cares? None of the current members of the team.
I think David Ortiz's stance is like you do what you do what they asked you to do.
Exactly.
You're getting paid huge money.
And then there's the other ticket. I know we got to take a break in a second, but that Devers got mad at Christian Campbell for taking the ball
they
at
say
first
that's
base.
not true now.
That's not true now. Okay.
That's what somebody came out and said, that it was never. Actually, they asked Campbell. Now, is he going to say it? I don't know. Right. He said no. It was never said. Devers kind of laughed it off through his interpreter.
He's been in the United States. I mean, he speaks English. Everything's through his interpreter.
I always laugh because the interpreter never has to really tell him what the question is.
Right. Yeah.
It's just the response.
Yeah, I get confused with the interpreter because then you hear stories that the interpreter is not interpreting everything.
Well, you hear Devers' response is like, 12 minutes long, and then his response is, "That's in the past."
It's in the past.
It's like, okay,
He just spoke for 10 minutes.
He just, yeah. So
Hey, let's take our final break. When we come back, we'll finish up with the Devers stuff. There is an unexpected winner in this whole Rafael Devers trade, and if Marty Crowley is listening, he might be interested. So we'll be back in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin on 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, OneSocketRadio.com.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasket Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasket Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TasketBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasket Buick GMC, you will be satisfied. And remember, there are no tariffs on the vehicles in stock at Tasket Buick GMC.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Service Master by Gilmore. From water and fire restoration to mold remediation and emergency cleanup, we've been restoring peace of mind for over 40 years, now proudly serving all areas, including our newest service location in Rhode Island. No job is too big or too small. Day or night, we're here for you. Call Service Master by Gilmore at 1-800-783-0552 or visit us at the web at www.svmgilmore.com. Restoration done right every time.
If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them, Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
And this week's special at Michael's Meats, he has Italian sausage or patties for just $3.99 a pound at Michael's Meats. So, back to, the Devers, there is an unexpected big winner in this whole thing. And Monty Crowley, if you're listening, this affects you and your Baltimore Orioles. You might want to know, what the heck is this? Designated hitter Ryan O'Hearn of the Baltimore Orioles, thanks to the Red Sox trading Devers to the San Francisco Giants, Devers now switches from the American League to the National League, allowing O'Hearn to move up to first place in the AL All-Star voting for designated hitters after the first update. Before the trade, Devers led all designated hitters in the AL with almost 800,000 votes, which are now transferring over to the National League, where they rank second behind Shohei Ohtani. He's got 1.4 million. O'Hearn will jump into first place with 353,000 votes. So he's having a good year. And I think there was a quote from Hearn. O'Hearn is going, "Oh, this is great." He goes, "I'd like to thank Craig Breslow and the Red Sox." I'm sure he's got some all-star incentives coming for himself now. So, so the unexpected winner in the whole thing is Baltimore Orioles designated hitter Ryan O'Hearn. He's having a fine year if you've never heard of him. So, and as the Orioles scuffle along. So Marty, looks like you might have a all-star designated hitter at the mid-season classic. So, all right. So you get out from Devers last 8.5 years of his contract. You're freeing up $255 million. There's so many layers to this trade, and who's upset, and nobody comes out of this, looking very good. That's for sure.
No,
but,
I think it's.
Go ahead.
I think it ends up being, what do they do from this point forward?
Exactly.
Right. You freed up all this money. Are you going to make another move before the trade deadline?
Right.
So that'll speak volumes to me, and then we'll be able to have a much different conversation.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the the trade rumor machine is starting to churn a bit, and I read one of Ronald Acuna Jr. Coming in. I'm like, whoa! Now, obviously, you would have to give up. I'm sure Duran or Rafaela or Meyer or an Anthony, one of the big guns that way to get an Acuna. But if you can get Ronald Acuna Jr. That's a major upgrade, and he would then become the face of your team. I know he's had some injury issues, but talk about your blend of speed, defense, power, average. That guy's got it all. Why the Braves would I think he's on the Braves still. Why they would trade him, I'm not 100% sure. Not sure where Atlanta is in the standings. Look that up really quick.
The one thing I see here where they talk about Acuna
Atlanta's 10
Jr. is they would send Abreu, Story, and a couple prospects.
Okay.
In cash.
That's fine.
Because then they'd slide Mayer over.
Yep, to short, his natural position, right?
And then you have
then you get your three-headed outfield.
Anthony and Wright.
Yeah, and go along with Duran and Raphael. Oh no, then one of them goes to DH and Pena would be out in the outfield.
Yeah, that's true too.
So that works. I know Story's been playing better. My family doesn't think I'm rooting for Trevor Story. I am rooting for him.
He's playing much better over the last couple weeks, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I want him to do well. He is a good shortstop. I'm shocked he's healthy through the halfway point of the season.
And he's still batting like 7th.
Yeah.
So
he's kind of settling into that comfortable bottom of the order role, which is fine.
Yeah.
His contract says he should be the 3-hitter or the 4-hitter up, but whatever. He's doing fine. Down there, he survived the month of May, where he hit 153, I think it was, in the month of May. He's doing much better in June. So no, I'm all for. I want Story to play well. He's played a good shortstop. I'm just not the biggest Trevor Story fan, but.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, my big issue is even when you look at the lineup, like last night, you got Abraham Toro batting in the 4.
Yeah.
So and like, listen, he's played great for Toro,
right?
But is that who you have in your 4 spot?
Wong type season like Wong did last year. Will he settle back into his normal? He's never had this good of a year, and would he again?
Right.
In the future, but ride this with Toro for as long as possible as he goes back and forth between first and third, as well. So here's a question. This is one of my very first takes on the Devers trade. And again, you can tell me I'm crazy or whatever. Is this trade this generation's Nomar trade? Disgruntled in the clubhouse. I think that
obviously much earlier in the season.
Yeah, probably by about a month or so.
By about a month.
Yeah.
Because I think that deal came right around the deadline.
Yeah, I think that was.
But yeah, I mean, I could, definitely.
And obviously, that team had a little more talent.
Face of the team.
Right.
Disgruntled. I think there was a game that he basically said, "I'm not going to go in.
I'm not playing." And then Jeter made that catch.
Yeah.
It was against the Yankees where he fell into the stands making a
and
great
then it
catch.
was like, all right, we're done.
Yeah. And ironically, so that was against the Yankees. And the cameras immediately pointed to Garcia Parra sitting in the dugout after Jeter makes that catch. And ironically, Sox playing the Yankees about a week and a half ago, where Devers doesn't run that ball out, and the ball that, by all accounts, he looked like he was running, slows down, is out by like a step, by all accounts would have been saved, and they immediately panned to Cora.
Yeah.
Right away, the ESPN cameras. That's twice that these things happened against the Yankees. Both of them happened on ESPN. They immediately panned to the Red Sox dugout to catch a reaction. Cora was not
happy.
Not happy at all. Probably did a lot just to bite his tongue in that situation. So you think there's some similarity? I think that Garcia Parra team was obviously more talented.
Overall.
They went and won the World Series.
More leaders on the team in general.
Exactly. You had Schilling, you had Pedro, you had Ortiz, you had Veritek, Pedroia. So Pedroia wasn't there then, I don't think. But you had the other guys that were there. So you had more leaders on the team. Whereas this year's version, as we said, you're hoping that some of these guys step up into that leadership role. You're banking on the 21, 22-year-old kids. I guess Duran right now, would be your leader.
From the young standpoint,
from experience, age.
What I do like in all the games I've watched since Bregman's been down, or even before, is these young guys just go to him.
Yeah.
They pan to the dugout, and you got, at one point it was you got Anthony, Mayer, and Campbell all around Bregman.
Yeah.
And they're all chatting and
Right.
talking, and
that's not staged.
No,
to do that, and that's the thing when Devers was here, you never saw that. Like, you just wonder. So you wonder if there is any truth to that. Christian Campbell, I don't think he went up to him and yelled at him for playing first base, but something must.
There may be some comments made.
Yeah,
maybe not directly to him.
But I'm sure Campbell, who's now down in Worcester, and I think more for his defense than for his offense, but I'm sure it's a little bit of both.
Right. He's struggling.
I'm sure Campbell's like, oh, he has the whispers of being sent down to Worcester. He's like, well, maybe if I can place him first, they'll keep me up here in Boston.
And I think they asked him. Yeah. I'll play wherever you want me to play.
And you're 22 years old. They ask you to play a position in the field. The answer is yes. So I'm just very, very mad at Devers. I think they had to get out from underneath the contract. I don't think they did it to save money necessarily. I'm sure they're happy with it, but I don't think they did it to save money. I don't think they did it to fund Liverpool or their racing team. It's an interesting coincidence of how they used some money right away. But it's just a real bad look for Denver, and I think they had to. I think, and one thing that Breslow said that I actually agreed with, you know what, you're going to have this guy sulking for the next 8 years, and you've got, 21, 22-year-olds, and don't forget, Navarez is young, too. I think he's like 24 as your catcher. So you got 4 guys who you're now kind of banking on to be your nucleus for the next 6 to 8 years, 10 years, and they're learning, and here's your all-star, $30 million plus per year guy, and there's the guy that, is sulking. It could be damaging to a whole team. One guy can, you don't see it too often that one guy can bring down a whole team, but it feels like he could have. It almost felt like they were starting to win in spite of him, but it's, just a bad clubhouse situation.
That's what it looks like.
Right.
It sounds like the more and more you hear that these guys, it was like, hey, we're moving on. I mean, Trevor Story even said last night, he's like, yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird seeing him. It was really weird seeing him in the San Fran uniform earlier. It'd be good to kind of say hi to him because we didn't get to say bye. But hey, at the end of the day, we get between the white lines and it's play baseball.
And you said it earlier, Pat. I think they weren't surprised. I don't
think so.
And I'm not hearing.
And I'm sure these guys all knew what was going on when
Bregman signed.
when they flew into Kansas City and had a private.
Yeah.
These guys don't miss much.
No, when the owner flies into Kansas City, one thing for the owner to fly into Boston because he owns the team, but to fly into Kansas City to go meet with players and management behind closed doors, it's. All right, so a lot happening this week with the Devers. We spent a lot of time on it. Things we didn't get to. Congratulations, Brad Marchand and the Florida Panthers. I just see one guy on Facebook say, "How's that feel, Boston fans?" I'm like, I think to me it felt fine because Marchand, in my opinion, wasn't going to. He's a perfect third line guy in Florida.
Yeah.
He's going to be a first or second line guy in Boston. Boston wasn't going to win, so hopefully now they can do something with the draft picks that they got this year, and I'd say good for Brad Marchand.
I was happy for him.
Yeah,
who knows what's going to happen with him now if they're talking about keeping him down there and I don't know, is he worth $8 million?
In my opinion, if he's smart, he signs in Florida and stays a third line player.
For sure.
So if he goes anywhere else and wants to be a first or second line guy, I don't think that's going to work for him, just with his age and everything. Rumor Edmonton might want Jeremy Swayman after their goalie situation. Got him to the finals twice, and then they had to yank their goalie in the finals. So that'd be interesting if the Bruins get out from his $8 million contract, the Rafael Devers, if you will, of the the Boston Bruins. NBA Finals, the first Game 7 since 2016, tomorrow night. I still think OKC wins, but credit Indiana Pacers. I did not think that they were going to put up this much of a fight going forward into the finals.
Well, I certainly didn't think so once Halliburton got hurt.
Right.
But they're getting a lot of contribution from their bench players.
And I'm rooting for Indiana just because I hate when they label a team a dynasty that hasn't won anything. Oh, this could be the future dynasty. I'm like, well, how about you win something?
Right.
I didn't like that they called the Celtics a future dynasty. I'm like, they've won one. One is not a dynasty. go win 3 out of 4, and you get yourself, a dynasty. And congratulations going out to Charlie McAvoy, who was named one of the top 6 Olympians from the Boston Bruins. He'll be on the USA roster with Jack Eichel, Quinn Hughes, Austin Matthews, Brady, and Matthew Tkachuk, and also on Team Czechia, or the Czech Republic. You got David Pasternak and Pavel Zacha from your Boston Bruins being named to the top 6 of Team Czechia. So congratulations to them. I think the rest of the roster is going to be announced in January. So those 6 guys are fine.
That'd probably be similar to the 4 nations, I would imagine. Maybe something here.
I did hear something from Team USA of they will basically the goalies are fighting. There's like 3 goalies that went to 4 nations, and basically I think they want to bring 2 to the Olympics, and those 3, well, we'll see how you do during the regular season. There's your tryout. So makes sense anyway. So that's good for the Bruins. If Swayman really wants to play for Team USA, he just won gold in the IIHF. He went 7-0. I guess he's got the leg up. But if he wants to hold on to that, go play well for the Bruins. So all right, well, that just about does it in the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin. Thank you so much, Pat. Welcome back this week. Great to have us back both together in studio. Again, thanks last week to Matt Callahan for filling in, and Brendan McGear for calling in last week, talking some NIL stuff. We want to do some more follow-up on that in the future as well. So, and thank you for listening and tuning in to the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and OneSocketRadio.com. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast